Hey, welcome everybody. This is my 1 credit clear of Alltynex Second. This was a fun one for me, a little bit of a surprise. Didn't expect it. Also can be a little frustrating at times. For example, this opening cutscene, you can fast forward it, you can't skip it. Not a big deal. Very annoying. But you can, this is kind of a homemade game, a doujin game, they call it. I think what makes this game interesting is they had a very strong vision for what they wanted. And they're going to make some little mistakes here and there, some frustrating things. And the reason that I did a Steam recording of this instead of just using the replay feature is for whatever reason, if you do a replay to the built-in replay feature, there's a giant logo that says Alltynex Second that takes up like a quarter of the screen, and it just stays there the whole recording. That's one of those things that, you know, maybe an editor would say, hey guys, this is kind of a dumb idea. Lose it, cut it. But, you know, I think them being such a small team and having such a strong vision, ultimately the sum is more than its parts. And it's really a very fun game. So you'll notice you have a couple types of weapons. You've got your shot, and the special weapon with your shot is those small laser beams that kind of track. And then you've got sword mode, and the special weapon with the sword mode is that big blue laser beam that goes in a straight line. So the idea is with scoring, you rack up your chain with your shots and your homing lasers, and then you cash out with your sword and your big blue lasers. So you get in close. If you want to just nuke a boss, chop them up. So this is a part where, you know, if you use your homing lasers effectively, use your shot effectively, all your tools really, you can rack up some big points. And this is a good spot to practice and learn that, because the more points that you get, the more extends you get. Now this part's just awesome. Slashing that guy on the left, and then blasting the one on the right, and then chopping them up in the middle, and hitting them with all the lasers. You get to use all four in one spot. Very cool. So you'll notice the boss has started, but it's got this little vignette beforehand. There's a lot of vignettes in this game, a lot of presentation heavy stuff. But I think it works really well, and the presentation parts are never overly long, and they're still usually pretty fun to play. And this boss is pretty unremarkable. The only real trick with this guy is as you blow off the sides of him, you can chop them up quickly with your sword, get a few extra points. But other than that, not really that difficult. He's got 4 blasts, you come up, 2 slashes, go back, repeat. Do that 3 times, it's over. And if you do it right, you're not necessarily going for a super high score, but as long as you use your tools effectively, you should have close to about 3 million points by the end of the first stage. And 3 million is when you get your first extend. So this part, you know, you kind of corral them and hit them with the homing lasers, and you can get that chain up very high. And these guys, you just get in close, slash them. You can kind of shoot this guy off screen. When he comes down, then you can start slashing him. Shoot some homing lasers out here and there to keep everybody else off you. Keep that chain up. But this is kind of a really cool part from presentation. You know, you're not in stage 1 and you're not in stage 2. You're sort of in between. And why would you want to do this? Just because it's awesome. This part's awesome. The music changes, the missiles come in, stage 2. All right. The vision they had for the presentation in this game is just so fun. And I really think that people should experience it and enjoy it. Even if you don't do the 1 credit clear, it's kind of a unique experience that you're not going to get from most of the time. So this part, these guys come out, you can just kind of anticipate where they come, be ready, and chop them up with the sword. The sword does a ton of damage, so even if you're not worried about score, you get your sword out, and that's what you're going to be fighting the bosses with. This game does have a pretty strong memorizing component, not as much as something like R-Type, even though I don't mind that, because I do like R-Type quite a bit. But yeah, there is definitely some memorizing this. I know people don't like that all the time, but I think that you'll enjoy it. Again, you don't have to go for the one credit clear, just experience it. That's what's unique about these games, is that you can just kind of experience them. And it's not just running to the end. Now this part, this Gomander guy, I missed that little, his last panel, and I never missed that last panel. And it sounds strange, but that was when I knew that this run was going somewhere. It's kind of like playing this game. I've been in like Groundhog's Day, just doing the same thing over and over again, and something different happened this time. Oh, something different's happened. So, you know, we're in no man's land, uncharted territory. And so I just took a really stupid hit there. Again, something new has happened. I never take a hit there. Okay, so something's happening. I think we're going to go somewhere with this. Now, the reason I talk about sort of the Groundhog Day scenario is that's my biggest complaint with this game. The practice mode is as bare bones as it could possibly be. It's stage select, and these stages are long. And if you have trouble with a boss, tough. You just play the stage and hope that you get to the boss, and then you get one shot, and just keep doing that over and over and over again. When I was younger, I used to play shooting games like this, where I would just start from the beginning and just go through, and then when I die, you know, try again. But I don't like to do that anymore because I'm old. And I like to say that my time's valuable, but I'm just not interested. I'm just too lazy these days. So this is definitely something that I enjoyed it when I first played it, and then I put it off because I wasn't interested in grinding out the 1cc with this stage select. But eventually, you know, I came back to it because it's just so fun to play. It's very satisfying. The sword is very satisfying to use. I know a lot of games these days like to try to put a sword in there, but this game is one of the very few that actually does it right, which is surprising, because again, this is a kind of a homemade game, but they nailed it. A lot of fun. So yeah, I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna push through. I bet I can do it, and get a little bit farther every time. Very frustrating. At certain points, I started to hate the game. I had to take a break. But I got to the end of it, and I enjoyed it, and I'm happy that I did. So stage 3, this is when it starts to get a little tough. This part, it seems overwhelming when you first play it, but it's not so bad once you start doing these kind of rhythmic tapping of the lasers. So as you're blasting with your shot, just sort of rhythmically tap your lasers, and it's gonna take care of these guys. They're not gonna be able to overwhelm you, and you're gonna get a lot of big points for those sweet extends. And also, it just looks really cool. And again, I know I keep saying that, but the presentation of the game is that's half the fun of this game. That's why we put up with the the crappy practice mode, because the presentation is just too good. It's too fun. This part, you don't have to do that dodging. You can just go in and chop up both of the wings if you're fast enough. But I find that I have a pretty low success rate on getting through that unscathed. So this time I thought, I'm just going to play it safe. The dodging's not so bad in this game. You don't really have a very big hitbox, and it's not super dense bullet patterns. It's not a big deal. Again, that's very cool. Slash with your sword. Blast them across the screen with a laser. These guys, you have a couple of dudes that come in the back, but they're pretty slow, and even if you don't really anticipate them, they're very easy to react to. So this part where the screen goes sideways, these battleships come out. What you can do is you can just come hide behind them, and then you can just slash them. Easy. By the time their cannons can reach you, they're already dead. Now this is something that I've seen I looked this game up online, and I've seen some criticisms of this game. One of the big criticisms of this game is the dynamic camera. The camera's flying all over the place. You're going to get some wacky angles. What you can do, if you don't like that, you can actually go into the configuration. You can turn that off. You can just keep it to a regular, plain old camera. I will say, people that do that, they're cowards. It's not that bad, and it looks really cool. It's a lot of fun. It adds to the experience. If it's too much for you, I'm just teasing. Just turn it off, have some fun. But I think that you experience the wacky camera angles a couple times. You get used to it. Like I said, you can kind of memorize where the waves are coming through, and it's really not that different. You have a lot of fun. This boss is the hardest boss in the game, and this is where I brickwalled the first time, because the boss is so tough, and you can't jump to the boss. You have to play the entire stage just to get one shot at this boss. So the best way I found to do it, when you're starting and it shoots the missiles after the second laser, just hide in the left corner and shoot the left missile volley. The right one won't be able to reach you. And as soon as you get down on starting the actual fight with the boss, just alpha strike him, just blast him with your big blue laser. You're going to lose some levels of your special, that's fine, because you're really not using your shot much in this anyway. You're going to be using your sword a lot. And then as you go around, try to cut as many as you can with your sword, and then hang back and blast the rest. Super simple. Now when he gets into phase 2, he's got these little wings on the left and the right. Go ahead and chop those up, and then you should have enough time before he gets into this wacky camera angle where they're going to start blasting lasers at you and then dodging missiles. Looks cool, looks overwhelming, but it's really not that bad. Now this part, once you've blown off the wings, he's going to shoot these little lasers at you. Get up and chop. The lasers, they seem like they track you. They actually do track you, but only at the last second. So you have to wait for them to kind of slow to a stop, and then, juke left or right. And once you understand that, it's really not that difficult. But it sure looks scary. Alright, stage 4. We're already in stage 4. And it just keeps rolling. I love it. Again, very, very Rayforce. A lot of the games in this Alltynex trilogy are very heavily inspired by the Rayforce series, which is fine with me because I love Rayforce. I love Ray Crisis, I love Ray Storm. Great games. This is another one of those wacky camera angles. I just think it looks nice. It just adds to the experience to me. I do like the music in this game. I think the melodies aren't very strong. I think it works for what they're going for, which is kind of like a dramatic soundtrack. The melodies aren't really going to stick with you, unfortunately, but it does work well. And this part, like I said, you can memorize where these guys come out. Just start slashing. Don't even try to fly over to the guy on the right. Just shoot him with your laser. These guys, as the cutscene is playing, you can still move your character. So just get in position, start slashing. As soon as their hitboxes turn on, you already got a quarter of his health down. Now once you beat these 3 guys, this part is pretty tricky. The trick here is you start on the left, you slash the blue guys, shoot as many holes in the lasers as you can, move to the other side slashing. The longer you take on those 3 tanks, the less of those that you're going to have to fight. But once you get the pattern down, it's really not difficult. So this guy can be kind of a pain. These spinning sword things can be difficult to dodge. So just don't dodge him. When it comes out, you just start blasting it with your laser. As soon as it blows up, go up, get 3 slashes, come back down. Do that 3 times, it's over. Easy. And then there's a weird little wave at the end here. This part is very tricky. You're going to watch these things and you're going to think, well, that doesn't look so hard. And I think in a vacuum, this game isn't super hard. But again, it's that practice mode. If you want to practice this part of the stage, you've got to run through the entire stage to get here. So it's going to go left and right. This is where it gets tricky. This laser, it's not a predetermined path. It actually does track you. And you see I got clipped there. Which is unfortunate, but I didn't give up. I just kept rolling. So you have to kind of bait it to where you want it to go and leave yourself enough room to go around. This boss is actually really easy. When it comes out, he's got his 2 arms. I always go for the one right, doesn't matter. Get a couple swipes in, dodge the easy bullets. As soon as you get that one, the left one is going to go down before he can get to his next phase. This part sounds like Jingle Bells. That's how I get the timing done. And then you roll in, chop him up, easy. He can't get to it. This part is actually kind of tricky. So he's going to move left and right. You want to hang back. Your instinct is going to be to go in and slash him with the sword. But he has these missiles that come out, and if you're too close, your sword can't catch up with them. Something about this game, you think the sword can destroy bullets. Awesome, super easy, right? But the sword has a really weird gap in it. And it's not a huge gap, but it seems like the bullets always find the gap. This death was so stupid. I just kind of panicked. I've actually never got to that part. I always beat him before we get there. But oh god, I'm getting near the end, and I don't think I have enough time to do the damage, so I started moving around, and I died. And I definitely had plenty of time to just kill him there. Again, these are very pattern-based, memorizing-based. So, once you get it down one time, it's going to work every time. This part's, if you use your lasers effectively, it's not so tricky. That part where I was doing weird laser blasts, I was just blowing it. You have to shoot. You have to be in shoot form to shoot your homing lasers out, and I was in sword form, and I just started hitting the special button and panicking. Like, why are these big lasers coming out? What do I do? But it worked out. So, I guess, I take that back. I did that on purpose. This part's easy to dodge. You dodge 3 volleys, and then he shoots these little balls at you. And then here we go, 3 volleys, 1, 2, 3. Give him a couple slashes. Boom. And then he's going to shoot a bunch of missiles at you. You've got to use your shot on the missiles. Then when you go up and slash him when he shoots those red bullets, again, with that weird gap in the sword, if you sit right in front of him, it's going to make it to the gap. So that's why if you notice when I'm swording on bosses, I kind of come at him at an angle. The angle is going to be what saves your butt. Alright. This part, it looks a lot trickier than it is, but it's still pretty tricky. So these guys come out this first volley, there's 6 of these. They're very slow, and you can see how they kind of move and track you. But you just kind of slowly move left and right. Easy. This wider volley, I'll be honest, I've made it through there without getting hit like twice. So, you kind of just have to take the hit or practice. I would definitely practice a lot more, but again, no practice mode. This is easier than you think. He's got 1 volley, you hang out on the right, juke to the left, and then come back over to the right, hide here. Just watch out for those purple bullets. You can chop them up easy. And if you've made it this far, and you have, 2 extends, even 1 extend, you're in pretty good shape. Again, the 3rd boss is really the trickiest. So this is another one of those cutscenes. I guess the implication is the evil computer was controlled by an alien. I don't know. Regardless, we're gonna blow him up. Get him out of here. We don't want him. This part's easy. He's just gonna shoot some missiles at you. Just shoot him. And then you gotta dodge this 4 times. This is... I died there. This is the easiest part of the boss. I never died there. That's my freebie stage. I was very irritated that I died there. But I'm sure you can dodge it. And this part, just hang back. Be patient. And then you're going to slash the 2 parts on the side. Now, if you slash the middle, it looks like it's taking damage. But that part doesn't really exist in the context of him being a boss. Just get the left and the right and ignore everything else. These little arms that come out, you've got to blow off all of his arms before you can get to the next stage. And it's difficult to use your sword. It does a lot of damage, but you see they kind of undulate. and you'll get clipped. So take your time, go easy, even though I got hit there. Again, this is starting to get into panic mode. But take your time. I've still got an extra life. The last stage is easy. Last phase is easy anyway. Once you get rid of his arms, he's going to try to run away. And this is where you can kind of relax a little bit. There's a very obvious gap here in the middle. And then these lasers that come out, by now you've seen this trick before. Just dodge. Don't dodge too fast. Wait till the last second to dodge. And then when he starts shooting these blue lasers, he's going to shoot these blue-green tracking lasers. Take your time. Dodge these blue-green trackers. Once the red bullets come out, it's game over. You can just go up, slash them, and that's a wrap. So ultimately, this isn't a super hard game, but the practice mode just makes it such a pain in the butt. That's where the difficulty is going to come in. So I really enjoyed it. I'm glad that I did it. But I think in the future, I'm definitely going to stick with games that have good practice modes. But, this was a fun one. I'm really looking forward to Cider Skane's next game. And it looks like they've been remaking the first Alltynex game for the FM Towns, but they've been remaking it for like 6 or 7 years or something. I'm not sure it's going to come out, but again, this is kind of a homemade thing, and they all have jobs, so I get it. But I'm definitely looking forward to it, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun when it comes out. We got a little story here. If you like that sort of thing. It's a little bit of a confusing story. There's this part at the end cracked me up when I first saw it. I don't, what does this mean? Who's this person? I don't know. But, it looks cool though. Nice. All right. Well, this was a short one. If you're interested in this game, I definitely recommend at least playing through it once for fun. If you feel compelled, if you feel crazy like me and you want to go for the 1 credit clear, you're going to spend most of your time on stage 3 and stage 5. But, if you abuse your lasers, or let me say, if you use all your tools correctly, then it's a lot easier than you think, and you can have a good time with it. So thanks everyone. I'll see you next time.